It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
So, last we left off, Bell's Hells, following a handful of threads that led them away from the city of Drusar and northward through the jungles towards the Heartmoor, the swampy bog region on the northern part of the Odiran Wilds where the Heartmoor Hamlet exists. Whereas there you had hoped to, one, find information that seemed to pertain to the death of the Loomis twins and the path of your particular interest, as well as deal with a possible job set by Gianna Hexam that could cancel some of your outlasting debt and issues that you carry as baggage, Ashton. Gathering your materials, purchasing some horses, and trudging on for a handful of days, keeping predominantly to the roads through the jungle, you had a handful of odd encounters with some creatures in the vicinity, and then about a day out from the Heartmoor, in the middle of the night, something seemed to be glowing in the nearby jungle, near the ridge of where you had set up camp. A strange little, faintly glimmering fairy, small tiny creature that led some of you curiously to look in its direction, Fern specifically pursuing it out of frustration. But this seemed to not really be a fairy, as instead the presence of it drew you mindlessly forward into the darkness. And there this fairy creature was tethered to this long, winding vine that seemed to be protruding from, up until this point, a well-hidden, gargantuan, fanged plant creature that began to rise out of the brush in shadow before opening its large mouth. And that's where we're going to go ahead and begin. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Yes, let's do it! I'm ready!
Okay.
You're in
Awake.
Oh, wow.
We'll get to that.
So it's just a glowing dollar on a string.
Who was awake? Do we
It
remember?
was Lana, Imogen, Fern, and Ashton.
Got it.
Were the only ones that were awake.
That's a lot of people. That's more than I remember.
This looks awesome!
Our horses!
Where's your campfire?
Where's Rabbit?
Get a good look at them now while they're still there.
Just whap him on the butt. Let's send him straight towards,
Let's go,
towards the
Luke.
maw of justice.
No!
Imogen,
That's me!
it's you. You watch as two of your friends
Ah!
go off into the distance, the light from the campfire just barely keeping them lit. You see this faintly glowing kind of fairy creature just kind of chilling right there.
In Orem's head, he gets a shouted, "Wake up!" I'm gonna send dancing lights down into the fray so I can see what the fuck is going on.
As soon as your lights kind of flicker off into the space, giving this kind of faint purplish energy, you see what looks to be a small tree, except it begins to move as soon as the light touches it, and you instead see this massive creature that is a twisting mass of vines and roots that tighten and pull across each other.
Cool.
This kind of tattered underbrush that acts almost like a lion's mane around its heavily toothed, open beak-like mouth, eyeless, with small vines that seem to wrap around and whip.
And right as I see it, I'm gonna telepathically or telekinetically pull Fern 5 feet towards me.
5 feet
to get her
towards.
farther away.
So first, the bulb is kind of drifting there. It's going to go ahead and shift out this way. As it moves past your shoulder, you kind of glance as it moves past, and then it seems to pulse with a bright glow, almost like a lantern light that suddenly flickers bright then off. I need both Ashton and Fern once again to make wisdom saving throws for me.
20 total.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So you manage to resist the effect and kind of begin to shrug off that strange influence that had caused your brain to essentially shut down into this low, kind of noisy, warm light. You felt like you were almost like bathing in a lit bath and just kind of enjoying that expanse, and suddenly you pull out of it and you're in the middle of a dark jungle once again, and you just see this creature shifting in front of you, like part of the jungle has come to life, and you realize where you are. Ashton, you, however, your mind begins to pull away from your consciousness, and this kind of fuzzy sense of static takes over your mind as you
Into the bat.
move,
Oh
step
no!
up towards the creature there.
No, what are you doing?
You are incapacitated.
Okay.
And we'll also following that up with a Hungry Jaws attack.
Oh!
And you all watch as
You're not that hefty.
Ashton, like weapon out to the side,
not
suddenly
that
this
hefty.
pulse hits. Ashton kind of drops the hammer and kind of drags it on the ground behind them. As they step forward towards the creature like turns what you imagine its head to be to the side and then swallows him.
Ashton's gone?
Help.
It's again?
It's again.
It's fucking again.
I'm gonna scream at everyone. Wake up! Wake up! I was wrong! Everybody wake up!
All right, I'll say with that, the remaining members to go ahead and roll initiative. So, you come out of consciousness, you are prone on the ground, kind of like waking up, looking off to the side, there's the fire crackling towards your feet, keeping your footsies warm, and across the way you see the bright kind of purplish light in the middle of the jungle, and this creature that's now slithering through. What do you do?
Sleeves are bullshit. And I'll dig my fingers into my arms and I'll rip the skin off my arms. Hairy, muscled arms underneath.
As I open my ocular receptors and look around, I see in the dead of night, right, my friends in danger, and I say, oh, it's happening again.
Layers.
How is my relationship with Imogen? Would you call her an ally or trusted companion?
I'd say
We
she's
did mind melt.
You've LARPed together.
Yes.
Then I will, as my bonus action, I will give you a bonded blessing, where you now get guidance, a D6 that you can add to anything.
A decent.
Yeah, because she and I talked, motherfuckers. So anyone else who wants to. That's what therapy does.
Benefits
It
of
gets you
therapy.
results. Is this what you're shouting to us as you roll through the jungle?
Any turn? That's great.
So Ashton, you went from this odd kind of staticky sensation to a horrible sharp pain across your torso on both sides, and then darkness and constraint, and you are currently restrained. Also, you feel this horrible acidic burning sensation as you are digested from the inside.
Okay, I'm going to
Roger.
rage like a motherfucker, because what else am I going to fucking do? So, not that anyone can see, but there is a fucking light show going on inside this thing. Maybe there's just a weird little, like a bad discotheque happening there.
It's coming out of the mouth.
Yep.
Oh, it's a party monster.
My only chance of fucking surviving this is getting the fuck out of this thing, I assume.
Okay.
So I'm going to just grab the hammer and I'm just going to start stabbing with the bottom, the bottom of the hammer, just seeing if I can cut myself out of this.
So you're trying to force your way out of it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to do damage to it to try and get out.
You begin to take the hammer and jam it to the side, and you find the first couple times you're trying to like take the handle of it and pierce, it's like hitting hard petrified like stone or old heavy wood, and then you find one patch that splinters and pushes through, and you see that you've actually punctured the side of it. And you kind of use that momentum to push through, and all you see this emerging light show of Ashton essentially be birthed at the side of this weird tree creature.
Oh, nice. Wait, you're out?
I am out. I am
Hey, that's fucked.
You're prone.
I am
But you're out.
fucked.
FCG. It just ate and then shat out Ashton.
Oh, shit.
Metabolism is off the fucking charts.
I can never sleep again.
And then I,
6 seconds.
God, I take a little bit of like
Taco Bell
the like swampy muck from the bottom.
Yeah.
Kind of starts to like bubble.
Oh,
and surface, and it's just that like that like nasty mud at the bottom of a pond.
Oh, yeah.
And it just slathers all over top of them and kind of gives like a oil slick sheen to them. And I cast Hex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm gonna look around, and with my telekinetic abilities, I'm gonna pick up 2 large boulders and send them at the creature.
I love that so much.
So I'm casting this at 3rd level, and I'm sending 2 large stones at the creature.
Sure, yeah.
All right.
I technically can roll wild magic since I'm meta magic.
If you wanted to.
Wild magic?
Do it.
Just cuz?
Just cuz. 23.
23. Okay. Your skin suddenly begins to shift tone. As you finish casting the spell, you don't realize it, but everyone else is looking over at Imogen. You watch as her skin suddenly begins to take on this like sickly bluish hue. These 2 large parts of rock that have been covered with vines and heavy root that aren't even visible suddenly tear free and rise up, just kind of floating in space, slowly rotating as you watch Imogen's skin go from like that light sickly blue to a steadily darker and darker, almost navy coloration.
Oh.
And then both rocks slam into both sides of the creature with a heavy impact. You see whatever sort of plant-like lifeblood viscera would exist inside suddenly gets spattered out from the impact as it seems to buckle and fold for a second, taking a heavy hit. Both rocks into the ground right next to Orem. One almost like on the ground next to you.
Thank God Ashton got out of there.
Yeah.
Honestly,
What is happening? Yes.
A little bit. You're Smurfy.
Joe, are you feeling okay?
Can you calm it down?
It's her blue period.
the entity, which previously was just kind of in a soft hunting mode, now seems to be
Soft hunting
seems to
mode?
be getting more enraged as it's suddenly crushed by an extreme amount of pain.
Just a soft boy.
So this will be against Fern. Still a disadvantage. That is a 17.
Just hits.
It yanks you closer to it. The vine pulls you in against Orm. That is going to be as a natural 2. Pretty sure that misses you with a 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the one coming towards you, Lud, disadvantage. That'll be 15.
Ow!
Pain hits you, but all of a sudden you're like pulled close, and now you're right up against this creature.
Okay. I am going to produce a flame blade in my hand and try to stab it.
Your blade carves through it like hot butter, and as it cuts through entirely, like there's no resistance, you see where the burn mark was. It is extremely unhappy, and you hear this kind of subtle shriek deep inside as it seems to not like fire.
Okay. Okay.
Not that it's angry.
Now that it's angry?
No.
What do you mean now that it's angry?
It's going to use 2 of its legendary actions.
I'm sorry.
It's going to Hungry Jaws on you, Lord.
We're gonna die.
What, Hungry Jaws? Fuck this motherfucker. Hellish rebuke.
Let's go with the hellish rebuke.
If you're gonna eat me, I'm gonna fucking rip your jaws off as I'm going in.
Yes.
Guys.
While you are being swallowed, you angrily unleash your hellish rebuke, and you watch as the inside of its mouth lights up with a burst of dark energy and flame before Lana disappears.
Yeah, you ever see a kid like accidentally eat a pen and the pen bursts in their mouth and just like, that's what it is.
Straight up. Much better way to describe it.
This is getting dicey. I'm going to use my bonus action to ignite my Crimson Right, so you see the claws in my hand start to extend, and as they do, blood drips out of my fingertips and ignites into fire.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, they just... And I'll take 2 strikes against him.
So the flames on your claws burn into its plant body and leave these large carving black claw marks across its exterior. You can see wherever you carve in, it's almost like instinctual, almost plant muscles pulling away from the wound, trying to hide from the burning sensation.
I'm going to eyeball Chetney and then move around and come into flanking position opposite from the creature.
Okay.
FCG, cut me a pizza hole in there.
What's a pizza? Okay, I'll put on my saw blade, and I will whir it up, and I'm gonna try to aim for a spot where I think maybe Laudna will fall out if we get through in just the right way. I don't know.
You go, and it just stops. It just gets like an inch into it, and then just gets caught, and you're like, shit. You pull it free, but there's no momentum on the blade, and it's a little gummed up.
I didn't do what I wanted it to, or I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, no. That's your
Shit
action.
on us, and I spring at that shitty spot that he barely nicked. Fuck! I'm running up. I'm gonna smash the fucker. Fuck. Yes, that's what I wanted. That's a natural 20.
Hey, let's go!
I was gonna do it anyway, but now I'm even happier. I'm putting a Chaos Burst into that.
Hit that slot machine.
Laudna, up at the top of your turn.
Oh noes.
That is 24 points of acid.
Oh, you're
damage to
okay.
you.
That's the end of that.
Not
Just
an
literally
instant
made
death.
my eye twitch. All right, okay. I'm down.
Okay.
Could have auto killed.
It got
Could have
close.
auto killed.
It
Could
got,
have.
it got close-ish.
It got close.
You got this. Let's go.
On a 1 to 3, the damage hits before the death save, which means you will take one this turn. You have to roll. Otherwise, it'll wait till next turn. So go ahead and roll. You want a 4
No
through
bigs.
6.
Come on.
I want to 4 through 6.
Roll a death save.
No, I hate it.
That's an 18.
What does that mean?
I get a hit point back.
You do?
How? What? How?
Because I'm an undead motherfucking bitch.
Yes, let's go.
I am hard to kill. I am made of paper, but I'm technically hard to kill, so I have 1 hit point again.
So you come to consciousness. You still have your round now from inside the cage.
I have 2 things that help me to keep me from
That's
dying.
great. I love it.
That mean I can't die, but all right.
That's
So
a
as I
skeleton in
can
there.
feel my consciousness waning, and I kind of check out for a minute, and I come back, and no one could see it, but if they could, my eyes start glowing green, as I can hear Delilah's voice rattling around in my brain.
Not yet. There's still much to do.
And then I'm gonna take my form of dread as my bonus action.
Okay.
And kind of start snapping and cracking once again inside. That maybe you just see bones. Can I just feel for the hole that he already created and start seeing if I can pry my bony ass out of it?
This can be either an athletics or acrobatics check.
Come on, son of a bitch. 14.
That's a success.
So
get out.
So what you see is Laudna full form of dread, glowing green eyes, and first you see a wispy smoke and black ichor start pouring out of its wound. Before you just see my head
Ace Ventura.
as I claw my way out.
Oh God.
Having a baby.
Kill it!
I died again.
I'm gonna shoot my hand forward. My eyes are gonna flash white. Everything floops up, including the flames on the fire start to flare up a little bit, and I'm gonna shoot a lightning bolt
Oh shit!
through it all and try to get both the tail and the.
Let's go.
About 10 feet over Laudna's head, just as this extremely bright streak of crawling lightning, this almost snake-like instant winding of pure energy just strikes through. The lure at the end does wither from the.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
It kind of curls and turns to dust on the ground. Where it's standing now, it's going to go ahead and. Well, it can't use its lure pulse attack, so it's going to go ahead and use its hungry jaws on you.
Every time.
So that is 15 points of bludgeoning damage to you, Bushka Grass, and you.
Oh, am I swallowed?
Oh, come on, bitch.
That's all right. We got
I can only have one swallowed at a time, but you guys keep knocking them out, so it's like, oh, I need something else.
I'm just trying to get some food.
Right? It's hungry.
He doesn't like fire. I am going to cast Scorching Ray at 3rd level.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. And shoot out 3 Scorching Rays.
Like little Spider-Man.
I know. It's looking rough.
Could I try to try to get to Lagna and try to pull her back.
Pull her which direction?
To pull her away, like go over and under the armpits and try to just wiggle into
I can say you can wiggle her with the rest of your movement that far. So that finishes your go. That brings us to your turn, Chetney.
Come on.
Chetney rushes up. Rushes up, takes 2 strikes, and now with my bonus action, I'll use Predatory Strike.
That's enough damage in 1 round to make a Constitution saving throw.
Puke!
That's a 4. Yeah, no, it fails. It pukes up.
Before you even take acid, you're poisoned.
Drops you onto the ground next to Chetney, just covered in this kind of like molasses type dark brown digestive fluid.
Foul.
I was a plant. Oh, thanks. I was a plant briefly.
All right, that brings us to Orem with FCG on deck.
All right, the best
Actually,
thing
at the end of your turn, it's going to go ahead and use another legendary action to go ahead and Vine Swipe. This one is going to be... It's going to be you, Orem. That is a natural 20.
Nose.
We all get a turn on the water
20 points of bludgeoning
slide.
damage to you.
Yeah.
I'll take half of that, please.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Absorb half.
So you take 10, and then you take 10 temporary hit points.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, so the best thing I can do is keep this thing distracting. So I'm gonna continue to maneuver opposite Chetney.
All right.
And I'm gonna jump out and like punt up into the air and slash it across the face. It's like, leave us the fuck alone, spinach dick.
Striking both twice. You're cutting through and you're watching like chunks of vine and heavy kind of root bark armored pieces like fall off and crack from your blows as you kind of pull back, shield at the ready. It's looking to hurt. It'll hurt.
It also does no damage, but I kick it. One
Good
time.
on you.
That's it.
Good on you for good men. I'll allow it as a free action. Okay. Finishes your turn.
Yes, hold on.
FCG, you are up with Ashton on deck.
All right. I'm going to try to end this. I'll fire up the old buzzsaw. And I will...
You want to get up?
It's like a Dremel.
Yeah.
You are lying on your back on the
Oh,
ground.
I got to get up.
Okay.
Got to get up.
There you go.
To get down. I'm going to try to chop down the tree.
Go for it. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Come on.
Do it.
16 plus 6.
That hits.
That hits.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Come on.
It's 6 points plus the 10 that I absorbed.
16 points of damage?
16 points of damage.
Wow. Hell yeah. How do you want to do it? Right on the cusp.
I'll put it in overdrive, so a little smoke starts coming out. And I will, I'll say, oh, life is precious, but not a weed, and I'll just chop it down and try to chop down the tree. Yeah.
So as you push into it, you carve through, you can see where the sections where previous friends of yours had kind of carved through or pushed through have greatly reduced its central integrity, never mind being crushed rapidly by 2 giant boulders and then being blasted with a bolt of electricity. And as you carve through, you find every tether that's holding most of its upper torso aloft, and you just kind of...
Yes.
We're talking like, Judge Doom hitting the chains at the end. Yeah. Just come all the way through, and you watch as it...
I don't know which way it's gonna fall.
It tumbles off. You're spattered with this heavy brown sap like liquid of the creature as it falls to the ground, and you see its vines are still kind of writhing and moving, even though the creature itself is very plainly dead or on the cusp of expiring. A lot of its kind of appendages haven't quite gotten the notification and are still kind of just moving and curling. And the whole thing just immediately seems to turn to a grayish color. And all the extremities that were still twitching go lax.
Are there any fairy nubs?
You find the one that was trying, but it's way too underdeveloped.
That looks like a potato.
Very sorry. I definitely misjudged that situation. We woke up because we thought there was a fairy. So I went to go, get rid of it, and then it turned into something else. Or it was something else the whole time, rather.
Well, you gotta trust your instincts.
I don't know if I should.
You should trust your instinct.
I'm gonna give 2 peck scritchies. These with the fur.
Wait, did you say peck? Peck scritchies. Yes.
So we'll say it would be sleeping in a bit for the morning. Because you guys did go to bed a little early last evening, so it was probably going to be like a like at the cusp of dawn, waking up. Now you can kind of push a few more hours past that and still get your long rest.
Great. You were amazing. By the way, immaculate. That's like throwing the boulders around? Incredible.
Thankfully, no one was inside when that happened.
What was it like?
In there?
Dark.
Slimy.
Prickly.
Smelled a little like eucalyptus, actually.
Yeah, no, a little bit.
Very comforting in there. Actually, you just felt all warm and
Yeah.
wrapped up and safe.
I'm just
Getting
gonna
out
take
was
some of
odd.
the-
There was
the
that like
goo from
whole
FCG's
pressure that
body.
like
Oh,
Take some of
Does
it
it
off.
burn when I touch it?
It gives a tingling sensation. Whatever sort of extremely dangerous acidic property has been greatly diminished.
I'll just scoop some off of FCG.
yeah, that's gross.
And then I'll just press a digitation and clean them up and get some of that goo off of everybody that was inside,
Thank you.
if you don't mind.
Nope, don't mind at all. I hate camping.
Skin.
Oh my
yeah.
god, that's right.
Oh, she's still
Is it
working.
Oh yeah, she is like deep navy nightcrawler blues.
Can you do anything? Do we do anything?
I don't know. I don't
Does it hurt?
feel any different. I'm just
Blue.
When weird shit happens to me, I just go to sleep and hope that it goes away in the morning.
And as you are sleeping further into the day, you do take the first few hours of morning of your final watch here as the morning light does greet the jungle. The horses are getting somewhat restless, and you hear like the.
am
Not
I
too
still
far.
blue in the morning?
You are still blue.
oh no.
Wow.
Well,
I don't know if I can do anything today, but if this persists, maybe tomorrow I could do something, some sort of spell to restore you in a lesser way to your former self. Maybe I don't know.
yeah. Yeah.
Quite a vibe, honestly.
I know. I don't mind it horribly, but I mean, it doesn't hurt at all. But yeah, I mean, if it starts to affect me in some other way, I certainly. Yeah.
Can I go?
Boy, the horses
Scrap
really
pieces of
want
wood
to go.
that are around the campsite and just tuck
All right,
them
one
back
way.
behind my harness. And as I wander just a little bit over on the map, is that little toadstool house anything, or is it just something that made it onto the map, or is that a secret thing that we should explore?
This here?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. So you go over and approach that. This is the closest you've been to one. You see this cluster of a large fungus. You can see this kind of dull grayish coloration striated as it goes up, and where the cap is, it has this odd, dark purple coloration to it.
Poke. Does it do anything?
You poke it?
With the wood chisel.
Okay.
Yep.
You poke it, and you watch as the cap kind of retracts in slightly. A cloud of spores showers around you.
You all right?
Yeah,
Yep. There's a cap. There's a cap of fungus over there. Don't touch them. They go. Poof.
What is that? Is there like a stone or something in front of a tree?
Though that right there is a piece of ruined terrain. Do you want to investigate it?
Oh, really? Guys, we're gonna start paying attention to this.
we
shit.
should pay attention to these
Go
maps
ahead
way
and,
more.
Make an investigation.
I rolled 2 19s.
Whoa.
Hey.
So that's a 26.
Whoa.
You do recognize that there are elements of old elvish architecture visible in some of the curvatures of the stones, some of the details and markings that are on kind of the merge points where what looks to be a pillar, some sort of a load-bearing pillar. It's at an angle which tells you that it didn't crumble, but it landed at an odd angle. And the cracking of it means that it probably landed with a heavy impact.
And it's just a piece of wall or structure
Yes.
with that carving
Correct.
and design.
Looks like
it-
stone.
It is stone. It is elvish in nature, and it looks, based on just the elements of erosion here, it is very old, like pre-calamity old.
Whoa.
I'll do a
Pre-calamity?
360 and see if there's any more to be seen.
You do know that at least in Marquet, there were some There were some climactic elements that happened during the calamity that scarred the landscape heavily. You do recall that what is now the Rumadam Desert was not a desert, but a jungle itself. And at one point there was a flourishing elf and orcish society in the desert that was essentially wiped off of Exandria in one fell strike by a betrayer god. And your mind tells you
The whole city just like...
the whole city in the jungle that's now a desert.
Whoa.
You get a piece about this big that you can see kind of carries in it part of the arch, carries in some of the scrolling, and kind of as best as you could feel comfortable carrying that would possibly survive the trek as long as you have something to keep it in. You gather your supplies and one by one take to the backs of your horses once more, beginning to carefully trot back towards the main road, leading you
I
northward.
give some nose nuzzies to Sir Floppers. Just good boy.
You can see kind of small cliffs that begin to rise up where swamp trees twist upward and then kind of bend down, leaving these long draping vines and boughs that leave these kind of grayish, almost lavender colored moss-like leaves that drift down and actually touch the surface of the water and go below. You, Orem, notice a little ways up ahead, there is a small, lazy trail of smoke. This little plume that is kind of drifting a little ways off the left-hand side of the road. Looks like many camping spots are maintained in this region, and there you see a handful of horses and what looks to be a small group of 5 figures that are currently picking up their camp, and you see one of them is currently like throwing dirt onto the fire. One of them kind of stands up. You see a female silver scaled dragonborn. And most dragonborn you've seen are broader, but this one has a very like thin, almost snake-like, like lithe physicality to them. These very bright golden eyes that peer through these like side slits.
How much farther to the Heartmoor?
You have maybe about 3 hours this way.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Kind of smiles, the toothy grin that curls across the face.
What's your name?
My name is Hutchin.
Hutchin?
These are my companions. You see what looks to be a male Qatari, but of an Egyptian cat variety, hairless, with just this kind of heavily wrinkled, kind of gray skin across the head, big pointed ears off to the sides, and bright yellow wide eyes, and small kind of pursed cat-like nose in the front. Themselves wearing a big thick leather mantle and like another bundled cloak, similar coloration as to the one that Hutchin is wearing. You see a human female who has a drum kind of tucked under the side of their travel garb, just general like travel clothing. You see them put together a hunting knife away, and you can now notice that one of the things that they're currently wrapping up looks to be a mostly cooked, partially eaten body of some sort of a jungle cat that has been like skinned, cleaned, and has been prepared for travel. So you get a sense of some sort of a hunting aspect to this troop. You do see a small male goblin as well that has a small upturned nose, and you see to the very back, currently grabbing the horses and petting them and hasn't even noticed your arrival here, you see a tall female firbolg with a big bushy black mane of hair that just kind of comes out of her head and pours past the shoulders, and it completely, for the most part, covers her eyes. At this point, Hutchin kind of looks over the rest of you. And you are?
Oh, my name is Fern.
Oh, well.
We're Bell's Hells. That rather than introducing all of us individually, we're just traveling through.
You have a name. What sort of work do you do to have a name?
We're multi-talented. It really depends on the situation. We're,
Performers?
Oh, well, not particularly.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes. If the job calls for it. We could be diplomats. We could be mercenaries.
Freelance life.
Anything you want.
Jacks of all trades. That is useful.
No. There's always a chance one of us knows how to solve a problem.
And you are working within the wilds, heading to the hamlet, I presume, seeing as how you're traveling along the Daldale Road.
I'm gonna throw a quick detect thoughts on maybe the Qatari.
as you begin to cast the Dragonborn Hutch goes, and what is this one doing?
Performing.
The Dragonborn continues to smile, but the eyes do kind of narrow for a second. But you do finish completing casting the spell. So you get some surface thoughts. Surface thoughts are interesting, but I don't trust this. We should get moving. Gather the things and get moving.
What do you all do?
We are travelers who wander these paths, taking work we're able, selling what we find as we go. Not quite as prolific as the array of skills that you have acquired, but we find work where we can within the wilds.
What's your destination today?
Us? I believe we are heading the same direction, actually. We come to the Heartmoor not terribly often, but when the work calls us here, yes.
Well, we've had trouble on the road. I don't know if you'd mind, but certainly safer to travel together in larger numbers. I don't know if that sit right with you.
Tell you what, and I mean this in no disrespect, you look, glances over at your hammer, glances over at the whatever this is.
Pop and lock.
It's not that we feel uncomfortable in the presence of mercenaries, but there is benefits in at least watching each other's back. How about we travel in tandem? A bit of distance, but we can, if one or the other needs help, we can call for aid. But just for our own edification and knowledge of how dubious some travelers can be without earned trust, keep enough distance to be comfortably apart.
I think we'd find that amenable.
Prudent but helpful. Very nice.
Very well. Is
Do
that
you
all
have
right?
anything fun for sale?
Her definition of fun gets very fascinating, I might add.
So you find fun?
Oh, boy. Well, so many things. So many things. I don't think I could even pick one. I think I've just, if you had any trinkets or, shiny things or smelly things or...
Tejana! She shuts off, and the Firbolg, who's currently in the process of brushing the horse, stops and goes, yeah, what's going on?
Well,
could you bring that bracelet that we found not long ago? Okay, yeah. I'll get that bracelet for you. Hold on. I can't get it off my hand.
Would you like me to help?
In Vern's head, you hear, please don't steal it.
And you can see as she produces her wrist, there is this beautiful cluster of beads and gems that are embedded in this kind of double wrap bracelet around the wrist. This was procured on the outskirts of Avici. It belonged to a very well-trained craftswoman who gathered all sort of strange glass beadware and intricate, small, imperfect gems who believed that the imperfections is what true beauty is found. And as she gathered these from jewelers who wandered far and wide to craft this one piece that reminded her, or whoever carried it from that point forward, that there is beauty in that which is unrefined and uncut.
Well, it's quite beautiful.
Well, it'll run you about 20 gold pieces.
You thinking about that?
Well, no, I just wanted to see kind of what things you were selling.
I'll buy it.
Very well.
Expensive
20
ass
gold.
charm bracelet.
It is very much a charm bracelet.
Well, would you prefer that we lead the way, or?
I think so. You seem to be a bit more armed for the occasion.
We're all right.
Very well. Collect our things. I believe we're about ready. You all kind of gather up, get back on your horses, and trek. And they keep about a 50 or 60 foot distance behind you, but do kind of travel in tandem with you along the road. Within a short time, you see the shapes of structures in the distance. You can see what looks to be an arched gate and small walls that surround what would be the southern gate ridge of the Heartmoor Hamlet. You approach the front, and the gates themselves are not closed, they're open, but you do see there is stationed there a pair of wilders wearing familiar garb from what you're used to seeing in Drusar, but you can see there's a little less upkeep on them. State your business, please.
Afternoon. We've been traveling for several days by way of Drusar and are just looking for a place to settle in for a few.
All right. Welcome to the hamlet. There are a few places to stay for the night if you're looking to put your horses up. There is the dry dog stables over that way. Please enter. Kind of just ushers for you all. Just do not travel beyond the walls unless you are accompanied by someone who can defend you or themselves.
Sounds like a good deal last.
Oh, good.
Any place to stay that you can recommend?
Probably the easiest place for you to look for would be within Itan Square. It is the kind of the central region of the hamlet. There you could find the Sodden Grange Inn. If you are here to see the Twilight Mirror Museum, you will find that also in Itan Square on the northwestern side.
Why do you not like the museum?
Enjoy. I'm sure it will be extremely informative.
Stable this way?
Fair.
Thank you.
Oh, and also, the folks behind us, they're okay. Let them on in. They're with us.
I mean, they're not with us.
They're with us.
They're not really with us.
They just guarded our backs as we were coming into town.
They were also irritated.
All right. Stay safe.
Too.
Knees.
It's not too hard to find out where the stables are. It's the only visible livery within this portion of the city, and it's built specifically to be relatively close to the southern dock, or the southern gates, it's like the primary entrance from the main road to the hamlet.
Do you need your horses put somewhere?
Yes, please.
All right. For how long?
Maybe up to a week.
I say
Yeah, we're not
could be
sure how long
less.
it would take.
probably a week.
Though if you need to take it earlier, they can be done earlier. But your horses are taken care of, and the rest of the hamlet is now at your disposal. This isn't such a lively town as places of Drusar, and even though you see the accommodations here, there is definitely kind of a more casual energy to those who live here. Glancing a little bit around, you do eventually see the sign of the Sodden Grange Inn. As you step up to the front doors, you do see they do swing. They kind of as you step inward, and immediately you're met with familiar smells. Dried beers and alcohols on old wood. What smells like wet leather that has been dried and re-wet. You catch hints of tobacco smoke, and you do see there's an old, rough-looking fellow who's sitting at a table with both of his feet up on there, is in the process of lighting up this heavy, dark mahogany pipe that you can see is blackened to the edges from excessive use for years. His big, bushy, gray beard that swallows the bottom part of his face, holding the flame so close, you can't help but be a little anxious, but he obviously knows what he's doing. As you kind of glance, as you step inward, the man finishes kind of puffing a bit and turns around. This man, as it turns, the perspective he was at made him look a lot bigger than he was, because now that he turns, you see this is just a halfling fella.
Well, hello, you're certainly new here. You have the eyes and the look of individuals who've been traveling from afar and probably need a place to stay. Am I correct in my assumption?
Very.
Very observant.
See, that's how you keep a business going. So how many rooms are you looking for, and for how long?
We'll take 4 rooms.
4 rooms, very well. That'll be 1 silver piece per room per night.
Amazing. I cough up 28 silver.
Thank you kindly for your patronage. Let me get your keys for you.
Brings out this key ring and slowly kind of unhooks it and sets down 4 keys on the table.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Dobby Kinsman.
Are you the owner of this establishment?
I am. Me and my granddaughter tend to it.
I imagine you see everyone about town. Do they come here often?
Some do from out of town, yes. Within town, they have their own homes to get to, but some do come in for a good drink and some socializing.
I love it. I just want to hang out.
Yeah.
Close to here.
We have a friend in town named Isha Sabonis. Is she staying here?
Sorry, Sabonis would not stay here.
Oh. Oh, what do you know of them?
She is a very wealthy individual. I've not met her myself.
Okay.
Do you know of someone named Estani?
Old Estani, yes.
Are they staying here? Or do they live
No, they live here, actually. Their homestead is over in the Blue Herald's Hill.
Is that far from here?
The Mosslight Manor is not far, maybe about a 15, 20-minute walk.
And you said the Mosslight?
Mosslight Manor. It kind of gives you a description. So it's like it's a somewhat rickety, unkept house, decent size, needs some maintenance. Vines and moss, kind of a gray-brown wood coloration, some fungus clouding on it. Kind of hard to miss.
Any tips or tricks for folk who are new in town?
I would say, for most folk here, don't be too strong in making friends. People tend to come through here. The more, they want to earn trust. You understand?
Of course.
And we're far enough out in the middle of nowhere here that some individuals think it's a bit beyond the laws of the quorum. So, don't take it to heart if folks seem a bit distant and untrusting.
The Twilight Mirror Museum.
Yes. Don't tell me you came here for the museum.
Not directly, no. We're not to see it, just to do a little work.
It is very much what one would consider a tourist destination. Evon is curious, eccentric. But if that's what you're into, as being a speaking automaton and whatever you are, I'm certain this is maybe up your alley. I apologize, and I do not mean to judge.
This is exactly the sort of local opinion that we were looking for, to be fair. You've been nothing but charming.
By the way, Ash?
I assume we're walking towards the most gaudy, ridiculous Venice Beach curiosity shop in the direction that he pointed as humanly possible.
You're not entirely wrong.
I had a funny feeling.
Following the path along here, you go past the multitude of shops that range from probably once beautiful in presentation that eventually have just been maintained enough to function, but the moss and mildew just kind of builds up, and generally all bright colors kind of are pulled back to a universally muted variation. But to the left, you see a section where the consistent buildings stop, and there is a very tall metallic gate, or a fence line that comes around to a gate with metal kind of separation pillars that are situated about every 5 feet between. They come to these very tall, thin pikes. And you can see a small courtyard that is wrapped around a almost cylindrical estate. At the corners, what would be considered the corners of the structure, the walls themselves are somewhat curved, and at each corner lot there is a small tower or a parapet that rises up above it, where everything has this kind of curved, organic sense to its build. The front yard, what little yard there is from gate to actual front of building, which is about 15 feet or so, is wildly overgrown with all number of plants, some that look indigenous to this area, some that definitely are not, and are either thriving or have long been dead and have not been weeded. And you can just see just this spectrum of textures and colors of all manner of plant life that just create this visual representation of like the best scary Halloween house at the end of the neighborhood yard. The shit that the Goonies ran from when they were scared. This house definitely stands out like a sore thumb. You walk up into the front gate of it, and you can see there is an elevated placard that is
based in bronze, and on the sides of each there's a small glowing gem that just kind of pulses with this like faint purplish hue that goes to blue, and then back to purple. And in the middle you see, across it, Twilight Mirror Museum, Hytroga Emporium and Estate. And an iron gate sits heavily at the direct front.
Jesus, I thought Gianna was gaudy. All right, I'm gonna push it open to see what happens. Or knock at least, I guess.
Okay. You go look over, and there is kind of a hanging metallic bell.
Oh.
It looks like, and you can kind of lift it up and bang it against the metal gate itself, and kind of like ding, 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 ding. It's a little awkward, but it makes a unique sound at least. This is one of the few buildings. It's not just 2 stories, but it's 3 stories, and it looks like it's trying to be a small castle. But all the windows are shuttered curtains, and you see one curtain in the upper left-hand side kind of open, and a figure looks out, and then it shuts closed.
I think someone's home.
We have another like 60 seconds. I deal with a lot of eccentrics. Sometimes it takes them a minute. I'm gonna ring a couple more times. I'm gonna make it. Oh, never mind.
About 60 seconds later, the front door opens. And you see emerging from the interior 2 guards that look like they're in the process of putting their armor on, kind of emerge as they kind of push past. And you see as a male elf emerges. His body tall and spider-like in its thin waifishness, wearing what looks to be this bright, like flamboyant red and gold coloration to it. The mantle itself kind of extending in this wide, almost raised neck mantle that comes to almost Doctor Strange type points, but almost beyond the shoulders themselves. You can see this carefully, very thinly kept mustache that comes out in a John Waters-esque kind of pencil stash that then curls into like a thin Hogan, if you will. The brows themselves are thick and pulled up into points on each side to almost match the points of the neck piece. And you see all manner of jewelry and gems and rings encrusted around the fingers and necklaces and upon necklaces upon necklaces. He stands out like the sorest of thumbs against the vicinity of this entire town. But as you approach, as you stand there watching and he approaches his arms out, "Welcome, everyone, to the Twilight Museum." So, are you wanting a half-day pass, or are you looking for the full presentation?
Well, actually, funny enough, we were sent here by your dear friend, Gianna Hexam.
You're who she sent.
Well, she's an eccentric, and she likes her representatives to be the same.
Curious.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, that means you're not here for the tour.
Not yet. Perhaps later?
Maybe after this, though if you do your job properly and succeed, maybe you'll have carved your own tour of the premises.
Take my fucking tour.
Yes. Yeah, we might want to take the tour regardless, especially before everything starts. We've had a very long journey.
Oh, no, hoping to. You're not to see the interior. If you are to be part of this incursion, this competition, if you will, then you have to go in blind.
Have they gotten the tour?
Who?
The others.
They haven't arrived yet. Where are you staying?
We're over at the Sodden Grange.
Very well. I'll go ahead and send a notification when all has been situated, and then we will progress this little interesting event the midnight of the day thereafter.
Woo.
So we'll get on our way, I suppose, at this point. Just let us know. And on a personal note, Mr. Hytroga, I believe, is that it?
Mr. Hytroga.
Mr.
Evon
Hytroga.
Hytroga.
Do you prefer Evon?
Mr. Evon Hytroga.
Mr. Evon Hytroga. It's been fabulous meeting you, and I love all that. That's a lot of fun.
You have quite a delightful ensemble there. What is your name?
Ashton.
Ashton?
Ashton Greymore.
Ashton Greymore. Very well. I do wish you luck.
Exciting.
Do you have any tips?
Yes. Walk carefully. Be careful. Be safe. And if something scares you, run.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is going to be fun! Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
I have to.
My apologies. Before you leave here, and I don't mean to presume, but when I had heard of a recent unfortunate break-in with our mutual friend, I was told that one of these burglars had fallen and taken quite the hit on the head. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to presume.
Oh, no. I'm just always curious where that sort of rumor starts. It's always fascinating.
Indeed.
I may inquire where you heard that at some point after we have impressed you.
Good. I like being impressed. Well, no, sure, you're not paying customers. I'll let you know when the rest of this arrangement has arrived, and we'll take it from there.
Well, looking forward to stealing from you.
How is it you are speaking?
I don't actually honestly know.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
How much for your automaton?
No, why does...
No, we've established my
Everywhere we
worth,
go.
right? Wasn't
Why
it like
did you-
20,000?
He's not for
other one
sale.
was
He's
20.
priceless.
2,000 platinum.
Couldn't afford it.
Yes.
Let's go.
How much do you cost?
Oh, you could not afford me, honey.
All right.
Anyway. Good luck. Rest
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
Inside. Doesn't take too long to gather some directions from locals and guide you to the Blue Herald's Hill. It's kind of nestled on the eastern edge of the hamlet, so you have to backtrack a bit and then head to the east side of the city. But eventually you do come upon, indeed, the manor that was described to you. The house itself is a little ramshackle, but still cozy. This is an older building. This has been here for a long time. But there are two newer doors that appear to have aged better than the rest, or at least have been in more recent history, that have like a reddish coloration to them, a stain. But you can see the moisture has caused the stain to run a bit, so the whole door has those like streaks across it, and or the color seems to shift and change, giving this like subtle striped visual to it. And there is just a metal knocker on the door.
Imogen, darling.
Ging, ging, ging.
Orum's got it.
Do you need any help in there?
You all right? Yeah, I just... This person might have, the pages possibly that talk about my mother. I don't know, I just felt so overwhelmed as soon as we got into town. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Maybe you.
Might be very emotional. This is also the Loomis twins, and yeah, you've always been quite the empath. So I just want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Thank you.
Doesn't take too long for the sound of multiple locks undo on the door. And it opens up, and you can see the locking mechanisms on here, and the doors are new. And the mechanisms are new, like they've been installed recently. Behind the door, peering through carefully, you see an older man, probably in venerable years, older even than the gentleman you were renting your inn from. You can see balding with long wisps of fine silver hair kind of drift beyond the edges of the scalp. You can see the skin itself is a blue-gray tint, and the skin weathered with age and travel. They appear immediately to be Unia of Orc and Elvish heritage. You see a warm smile creep across their face as their one kind of clouded cataract eye sits next to the striking deep emerald green of the other. You see them kind of pull together in this warm, if somewhat dirty robe that they keep kind of clutched around their neck.
Might I help you?
Hello. We've come a very long way. We're just in from Dressar today, in fact, and we've come looking for Estani. You wouldn't by any chance be him, would you?
I am indeed Estani. Yes.
Excellent. We're here at the behest of Oshad Brescio.
His face drops, grim, and you can see in but a moment that a lot of memory and emotion kind of strikes behind those eyes. Before they close, there's a nod, and then the smile returns.
Then you are indeed friends. Whatever journey you took to get here, I imagine was not easy. So, come in. I will make some tea, and let's get to know each other.
That would be amazing.
Turns and opens the door, and you can now see the kind of the warm, cluttered, not quite hoarder interior, but definitely an individual who collects a lot of things and doesn't quite know where to put them or how to put them back. An organized chaos through this room.
Come. It's warmer and drier within.
I'll file in.
Mm-hmm.
You all step into the warm interior to have this conversation with Estani. Thoughts and questions gathered. We'll go ahead and stop there tonight.
Oh.
Pick up there next time.